The primary objective, as one of my mentors used to say, is keep the good stuff in and keep the bad guys out. The core of the service is the ability to be able to detect something wrong, something bad is going on, identify this from the maybe accidental malicious behavior, some errors, and when it comes from the attacker, like really malicious intent being present. But the identification is not enough. You need to be able to also respond efficiently, effectively, and most importantly, timely. Because these days, in 2-3 hours, the attackers might be out with your data, achieving what they came to do. And the service itself is really about competing with the attackers, who is better, who is faster, who is right most of the time, in other essence, to secure the business from the attackers, kick them out, and protect the business from repeating this painful experience. This is really interesting because we have found out that different companies, different profiles of organizations have different needs and different reasons why they are looking for basically handing over this service, this cyber defense, to a third party, to a trusted partner. The really large enterprise major organizations, we sometimes look at them as the market winners. They do it because they want to focus on what is their core business, and their core business usually is not cybersecurity. They want to create cars, make pharmacy, provide financial services. They are not cyber defenders at their core business, and they recognize that, and as such they want their protection to be in the hands of someone who is dedicated to this mission, so they can free up their capacity, mostly mental and organizational attention, to what they are doing best, to basically increase their competitive advantage in their field of choice. The second distinct group of organizations is what we call the upper mid-market, essentially companies that are successful, that have something to lose, that can be victimized by the attackers, but they do not have the capacity or capability to build fully fledged security team that is mature, professional, and capable of protecting them. And they realize this sooner or later, and they are going for someone who is doing this as their core business, because they also don't want to lose in the war of talent, because they might afford having 4, 5, 6 people strong security team, which on its own is not enough as like the minimum capacity. But these people would only see what's happening in that one company. So probably most of the time, most of the year, it will be minor, mundane things. And they will stop being good, if they were good in the first place, and lose their competitive advantage. While the dedicated provider of these managed services is handling these cyber attacks day in, day out on a regular basis, and keep on the top of the industry trends. And by industry, I also mean the attackers industry, how they evolve, how they attack, and how to protect in the most efficient way. I think one of the more important changes is coming from the regulatory landscape, because for quite a lot of time, quite long time, it has been something that was the necessary evil for the organizations, and very often it degraded into the checkbox exercises of just compliance with the regulations, and the true intent, protecting the business against cyber threats, has been somehow lost in the process. This is changing now that both the two major regulations, or three, DORA, NIS2, Cyber Resilience Act, are now putting much more focus on actual capability to protect, withstand, and recover from a cyber attack, really building a resilient society. And this is a change that quite a lot of companies are facing for maybe the first time when they are starting to manage security, and they recognize they need to change the approach. So from paper pushers to technology, threat intelligence, dedicated services to really achieve the expected quality of their security by the regulations, but also by their customers, by the society. And this is a change in the mindset, change in the business strategy that we are seeing, and I would say it's a change for good. In some way, the new companies have it easier because they don't bring with themselves the legacy architecture and the legacy IT, but the big ones, the old ones, the established companies, they are now undergoing this transition, and this is part of it. Having this global lens and local focus is something that I would say sets us apart. And the other things are really, we do our own research. We do not rely only on other technology partners. We have strong alliances where we strategically position ourselves to work with the best technology companies in the world, but we are not looking into just one size fits all. That would not be what our partners, our clients are expecting from us, and that would not serve them well. And as such, we are bringing our own threat intelligence to play. All of our managed services are powered by our own unique research into what the threat actors, the adversaries, are doing. And I would say the cyber defense is probably profiting from it the most, because this is where the edge between the protecting and attacking forces is being met. I would say the additional thing that is really separating us apart is we are not traditionally the managed service company that people associate with this field. We are at first consulting company. We are here to solve the problems of the clients, and as such our managed services are always tailored and bespoke to the individual client needs. Our objective is to provide the service, take the burden from the client, run the security for them so they can accelerate their own business and gain the advantage elsewhere, but also transform it in the process. Because we are looking at the outcomes of the service. In cyber defense case, it really is about being able to detect, protect, and recover from the security incidents. And for such, if it's needed to improve the security posture of the client, evolve their security organization, this is where we have always been strong. And this is why we are putting this together with our managed services with the outcomes in mind. So we had a client who was not consuming our managed services and who got breached. They were hacked by the attackers, and significant portion of the client infrastructure has been compromised. They called upon us to start with the incident response, to get them back on track, to start pushing the attackers out, and we have done that. But as a part of this broader initiative, we brought in our managed service to make sure that the attackers are not coming back, that they are not re-entering the environment, and that the customer is safe and secure going forward. And the one thing that I'm proud of, not only this was successful, but we have managed to achieve the visibility and control within the client environment under 24 hours from them asking us to do so. And that's the flexibility and the speed I'm talking about. It's not about the decision to build a security program and a year after you might have a foundation. It's a decision to be protected, and that's a business decision, and then be protected in the matter of days. Probably the biggest trend in the near-term future is what is going artificial intelligence to do with the industry. It's on everyone's mind in every industry, and cyber defense is no different. We already see that there are deepfakes, frauds in the boardroom that are persuading our board-level customers to just transfer the funds to the attackers. Similarly, in the attackers-defenders dynamics, there has always been the time between some software being found vulnerable or system, and the attackers finding a way how to exploit that. The time between these two was the time for the defenders to get ready. Artificial intelligence is essentially exploding the time to zero or to near zero. So the focus on speed will be even more imperative in the near and midterm future, which means we will have to embed AI into our own defensive technologies. We want to get better, which means having our experts augmented by the power of artificial intelligence and by technology in general to be able to amplify their capabilities and essentially continue with this vicious cycle of arms race between the attackers and the defenders. I think this will continue to be the case, and my strong prediction is it will all have to go really much faster than it's going now, and definitely faster than it was like 5 years ago.